All right, you're on.
Avi. And then slide just disappeared.
I know.
Good.
I'm sorry to inform you that the guy sitting next to you in the gray sweater is a liar. And the young woman sitting behind you in the purple sweater is also a liar. In fact, everybody sitting right here, including myself, are liars. Statistics show that 99.5% of women lie at least once in a 10-minute conversation. And only 42% of men lie at least once in a 10-minute conversation. Isn't this shocking? Well, it's a lie. I'm sorry, but the truth is that only for both men and women, only 80% lie at least 3 times in a 10-minute conversation. Thus showing that most of the conversations we will have today or have already had are complete lies. By the end of this presentation, you will be able to know the science behind lying, the universally known common features of lying, such as if you look up and to your right, you are actually making up a story, while if you're looking up and to your left, you're thinking of a real memory that's telling the truth. And you will know how and why politics play a big role into lying. First, our brain is separated into different parts, and each part has a very different function. The function that deals with lying is the prefrontal cortex, which is located right behind your forehead. This deals with the execution control, meaning your thoughts, your planning, your problem solving, and attention, which are all components of lying and deception. Lying requires a lot more thought process than telling the truth. Thus, the brain takes the brain to work harder, and it increases brain activity as well. Due to this fact, scientists have shown and proven that it takes a person who is lying to speak slower than a person who is telling the truth. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the microexpressions. Microexpressions are made by your facial expressions, which are uncontrollable physically. There are 6 commonly known microexpressions, and one is surprise, then is disgust, contempt, happiness, anger, and sadness. All of these are very easy to detect, however very difficult at the same time, because you have to be paying attention to the person you're talking to in order to catch up. In my project, I will teach all these 6 microexpressions along with other ones to my students, which I will have trials, which consist of 3 groups of 8 people ranging from grades 8 through 12, and I will have 5 people who will be liars and 3 people who will become lying experts, who I will teach how to not only these, but also more that are more in-depth and more complex. Hopefully, maybe, I might go to Washington, D.C., in which I will be able to interview politicians, speechwriters, as well as people who cover up scandals in order for me to add to my project in the aspect of how lying in politics is very different than lying in an everyday casual life. My final project will be a website in which I will put all of these videos together, and I will edit them, so I will be explaining how the person lied, how we know that they lied, and how you can also know how they lied. In politics, it is also very easy to know when a politician is lying in an interview or face-to-face, because they show just these characteristics: contempt, there's disgust, there's surprise, they show happiness, they show anger, and they show sadness, all at the same time. I will be looking in depth into these characteristics, not only in already recorded speeches by them, but also I hope to interview them and see how they're well trained in order to try to avoid these when they're trying to cover up something. Now that you know all these things, all these facts about lying and the microexpressions, you can either go 2 ways. First, you can go to my website and watch my videos when they're done, and become a lying expert yourself. Or you can do the more positive way, which is you can go to my website, watch the videos, and you can make your conversation more truthful so we can have better relationships and we can have more trust in one another. Thank you. Questions?
So we went right to the third. So let's go to the Q&A now.
Yes.
So like, how are you learning how to tell? Is it like obvious for you after doing this research how to like tell when somebody's lying, or do you have to like practice somehow?
I have to practice still. I've done a lot of research. I've watched a lot of TV shows which have been proven to be correct and factual, so I know I have a lot of experience. And I will also go interview people that deal with liars in their everyday lives to prove that these things are actually real and that you can prove them just by looking at people's facial expressions, body behavior, and linguistics. Yes?
What inspired this?
I'm really into, I want to go into forensic psychology and I want to become a lawyer, so I'm really interested. I've always watched like TV shows such as Lie to Me, and also there's this show which is The Criminal Speaks, which tells you like why the criminal did the crime and what inspired them to do it, and it's really interesting to see how they can fool or not fool a system and how easy it is to tell when other people are lying. Yes?
Does this make you really paranoid?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
How do you know these people are lying on the screen at the moment that they're being photographed?
Oh, because they are expressions that you cannot physically control. They're called, they have a name, I'm sorry. Okay, no. Their reactions, for example, of here in the surprise, in this speech, Obama got called a liar when he was proposing Obamacare to Congress. Somebody stood up and called him a liar, and the people in the back, some of you might know, they genuinely turned their head and opened their mouths, which is just a sign that it was not forced. But it is easy to tell when it's forced. Like even in pictures, like you can tell when they're happy if like their eyes are not like they don't have wrinkles next to their eyes, and it's very genuine rather than, for example, like when Clinton gave his speech about I did not have sexual relations with that woman, not only was it clear in his linguistics, but also the way he was saying it, he was very aggressive and he was trying to hide himself.
But just as an FYI, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi in the top left photo are not lying at the moment they're looking. What happened is somebody was shouting from the audience, Obama's a liar, and they're reacting.
Yeah, these are all truthful images.
Right, okay, so that's what
These
I'm
are,
sure.
yeah, these are genuine images of genuine expressions, and if they do not look like this, then they are most likely lying.
Ah, okay, so maybe I misheard you. Okay, got it. Okay, any other questions? All right, thanks a lot, Avi.